So what do we learn by teaching ICUP to draw? The first thing is we have proposed a way of learning motor skills that combines three different streams of learning. Every stream has its own importance: imitation, exploration and mental practice, in which case you don't perform the action but execute it internally through the forward inverse model or the PMP framework. What we suggested was that if we want to recycle the knowledge of movement across skills, we need to go beyond trajectory formation, or we need to move from trajectory to shape, or towards context independent motor knowledge. The virtual trajectory generation system basically is an end effector independent representation of action. You couple the virtual trajectory to the appropriate end effector, which is defined in the concrete motor goal. You can generate the motor action using PMP. Now all this does not imply that we basically track a trajectory that has been kinematically planned. The passive motion paradigm framework has inbuilt capabilities to take into account task dynamics, timing, synchronization in order to generate motor actions that not just tracks a kinematically planned trajectory but also achieves the goal at the same time. And finally, we showed an example of how, by following these principles, we can recycle the knowledge of movement across skills, for example from drawing to using a toy crane, or in experiments that will follow, trying to use a screwdriver or a lever or some other common tools. To add further, the use of most of the common tools like screwdriver, uncorking, hammer, pick and place actions, pushing, or the shape of characters in common scripts like the Latin script, Devanagari or Dravidian scripts. Most of them result in these basic shape critical points. In fact, as we can see, most of the English alphabets can be decomposed into a line, bump and cusp. These basic shape features are also very common in architectural designs. So this prompts us to ask an inverse question as to why human scripts, tools, designs are the way they are, or why do they give rise to very specific shape representations which are invariant in nature. Is it because the brain's language of movement is spoken through a vocabulary of shapes? Because it has a long evolutionary perspective also. Be it a monkey that is trying to cling to a branch of a tree, a woman that is embracing her baby, or a couple trying to perform a dance, or a baby humanoid manipulating a ball. All of them are trying to shape their body to the shape of the world with which they are interacting. So the take-home message is that possibly perception and action meet at the boundaries of a shape, and understanding the perception and synthesis of shape is critical to bridge the gap between seeing and doing, or perception and action. Finally, a note of thanks to you for having the patience for going through this presentation. We also would like to thank few people who have been instrumental in shaping the final version of this manuscript. Firstly, the two anonymous reviewers of Oro. I don't know who they were, but if they are listening to me, I would just say that they not only criticized and analyzed the work, but also put their own vision. So this paper is as much theirs as it is ours. Secondly, we would like to thank the RBCS Department of Italian Institute of Technology, which has been the backbone supporting all the work from many years. We also thank the European Commission for their sustained funding and encouragement. Basically, this work right now relates to three different projects. One is iTalk, which deals with integration of language and action. IFA, which just started in January, which is about social intelligence, learning through imitation, human-robot interaction, and so on. And Darwin, which goes more deeper into dexterous manipulation. So there is action, social intelligence, and language. And this is the global picture of how European Commission is trying to support this work in different perspectives. Finally, we would also like to thank our own colleagues Ugo and Carlo for developing the independent motion detector module in ICUP that I am sure many of us are using. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this article. Thank you.